to Mid Ohio. Welcome to Mid Ohio Sports Car Course for round 2 of the Nationwide Tracking Systems V8 Evolution Championship. Winner of round 1 and at Road America, James Anderson, and last week's pole position winner, Lasseth Leonage, come into round 2 tied on 150 points, while defending champion Sean McNamara finds himself in 16th place and a bit of work to do in what is going to be a super fast, ultra tight and congested 28 laps with a huge field of supercars fighting out for the top spots of the TJM Parramatta Mid Ohio 100, round 2 of Nationwide Tracking Systems V8 Evolution Championship. Lasseth Leonage will start tonight's 28-lap race from pole position, showing extreme speed and form with back-to-back number 1 grid starting positions, with defending champion Sean McNamara alongside on the front row in what will be an important start on this tight and difficult track to pass. 36 drivers have all qualified within 1 second of each other, so it will be a fascinating, tight, exciting race, round 2. Joining me in the broadcast booth, Craig Neal. How you going tonight, Craig?
Hey, g'day. How you going, Jamie? Good to be here.
All right, we're all pumped up, ready for round 2 of the V8 Supercars Evolution Championship. Lasseth Leonage, we were just saying before the broadcast started, he's on pole position. Started well last week at Road America, led into turn 1, but then all hell happened behind, and we ended up having, was it 2 safety cars or 3 safety cars last week at Road America?
Mate, we actually had 3 last week, 3 from my count, and look, a great start to the season from Lasseth, a little bit different from last season, which is really good to see. Be keen to watch him get off the line quickly and get a good lead.
Yeah, he was a little bit slow to get away, but had a really good form at the end of last season. And James Anderson won last week's round at Road America from Marty Hansen. Tommy Heyman, a new face on the scene. Alex Court, an old veteran, coming in third in the championship last season. Jacob Brewer, Lasseth Leonage couldn't make good use of his pole position, finishing in 6th position. Jason Davis, Kai Sloggett, Trent Gossley, who had an early incident in that turn 1. I think he was part of the safety car incident. And Simon Chadwick, who at one stage looked like he was going to run away with the race until safety cars got involved. But I'll just mention our sponsors because we're not too far away. We're only minutes away from the start of the race. So we've got Nationwide Tracking Systems. They supply hardware and software solutions that allow businesses to maximize the value of assets and people in the field by using real-time live data, supplied satellite technology and cellular networks. NTS allow people and equipment in the field to operate in an environment that is safe, compliant to industry regulations, used in a manner that provides maximum potential for returns on investment. And we also have Goodyear Auto Care Warana, one-stop shop for tyres, brake suspension, logbook servicing and all mechanical repairs. And we also have Abruzzi Racewear, manufacturers of custom sim karting gloves and boots, custom racewear and karting suits. Also now suppliers for OMP gloves, boots, helmets and race suits. Check them out at www.abruzzi.com.au. Track Racer, steel tube and 80/20 profile sim chassis, as well as a variety of accessories for your sim racing needs. Contact JP for NTS specials on all Track Racer products. Custom Track Art, official trophy supplier for the NTS series. Custom Track Art also manufacture a range of 3D racetracks, custom finishes and sizes to bring your sim room alive. Race management services, RMS mobile app and PC app are aimed at simplifying and enhancing the iRacing experience. Get your results, friends results, enter races and get live timing. Available soon on Apple, Android. Coghlan Race Engineering. ARE provides in-depth driver analysis, providing sim racers with the information they need to take their driving to the next level. They use telemetry analysis to help you find those extra seconds a lap, but can also analyse your sim gear to make sure everything is working at its best. Melbourne Hydrographics Depot, using a revolutionary water transfer dipping process MHD can transfer virtually any pattern onto any 3D surface. The hydrographic process can be used to decorate items that range from rims, car dashboards, and automotive trims to bike helmets, Xbox controllers and housings, as well as all household items such as toilet seats, cabinet doors, splashbacks, and much, much more. Track cams for gourmets, more detailed and in-depth iRacing camera packs, reproducing everything from Formula One camera angles to grandstand fan camera shots. And that's what we're viewing right now, as we've only got moments to go before we're on the grid. And g'day to Ben. Sorry, didn't mention Ben. He's I'm sure he would love me to promote his painters at the moment, who arrived at 7:30 this morning to decorate his house. We give him a new paint job, which meant he's had to pack all his sim gear up, and he was devastated to find out that they're going to be there till Friday. And
that is not a good job, is it, Jamie?
No, it's always a scary thought of having to pack your sim gear away, and they're gridding up now, Craig.
Yeah,
They're about to hit the grid. Leonage on pole from McNamara. Davis, Jamie Davis up there again. He had a pretty ordinary round at Road America. Tommy Heyman, the new man on the scene. He's paid off the beers, went back to school, and celebrating his third position from last week's race at Road America, and another good showing in qualifying. Position, Hayden Harrison. Simon Chadwick, always up the front in a spectacular watch. Should be interesting to see how he handles tonight's race. More of a smooth operators sort of track, this one. Like Warboys in 7th, Alex Court in 8th, Jacob Brewer in 9th, Trent Gosling in 10th. He'll be hoping for a better race than last week. Cameron Veacock, who was up the front last week, he's in a man in form. James Shepherd, a new guy on the grid. Rainer Costello as well, new guy. Riley Simons. Revs are rising.
Here we go.
28 laps. Round 2. Then get away from Leonage. Drops the clutch well. He's going to lead him into turn 1. Needs to do better than and make most of his opportunity here. He's got McNamara close on his tail. Heyman in 3rd. Chadwick in 4th. Jamie Davis up to 5th. Hayden Harrison in 6th. McNamara's trying around the outside into the keyhole. Leonage says no. McNamara's gone wide. He's out on the sand. He's dropping back. He's back in 9th now. McNamara. He's not having a good start to his defending championship. Leonage, though, has a good getaway. Leonage from Heyman. Chadwick. A race down the hill. Hard braking into this corner. Hard to pick up your apex. A lot of blind apexes around Mid Ohio. Tight left-hander as you crest over the hill. Hard to get the power down. I drove this setup last night. The car's pretty well balanced. It's a comfortable car to drive on fresh tyres.
And Tommy Heyman making an impression there, Jamie. The new boy on the block.
He's up to 2nd. So he finished last week's round in 3rd position. Drove a pretty smart race. And what was a topsy-turvy race with a lot of safety cars.
Looks like we'll be talking a fair bit about him this season by his couple of performances so far.
Definitely one to watch. It was a very tight qualifying position, as I said in the intro. 36 drivers qualified within 1 second, so it was critical to be up the front on this track because there's nothing between these drivers. As Leonage just clips the cone, exiting the corner, but we got Leonage, Heyman, Chadwick, Davis, Court, Harrison, Gosling, McNamara, Warboys, Veacock, Shepherd, Brewer, Simon, Sloggett, Hanson, Costello, Matt Davis, Ashley Davis, and last week's winner, James Anderson, is in 19th position. That's how tight this championship is. Alex Court, out on Harrison, having a look down the hill. This is the main opportunity for braking, for passing people on this track. No opportunity there, though. He's going to have to wait for another chance.
Yeah, McNamara's really going to have his work cut out there coming from all the way back there, Jamie. Alex is looking pretty good, nice and consistent, and I think that's how he wants to start his season out.
Having a look for McNamara, standings, he's in 8th position. Having a look at McNamara now, following Trent Gosling. Had a pretty ordinary start to last week's race, so he's up there, showing a bit better form. Gosley's actually moved up 3 positions tonight. So as they come through to lap 3, got a 123.8 for Leonage, 123.9 for Heyman. Chadwick's the fast man on track with a 23.7. So he's the man to watch in 3rd spot, Simon Chadwick.
I was going to say there, Jamie, uncharacteristic error there from Simon last week. Really surprising to see him put that into the wall. I don't think he'll be doing that this week.
The walls are a bit further away from the side of the track around here, so anyone hits the wall, they've been pretty unlucky, but if you do go off the track, it's very... Leonage with a bit of a lock up there. What they call China Beach. Big sand trap off to the left-hand side. Rolling track, you have to be super patient. You want to put the power down, but you don't want to spin the wheels, and Heyman is all over the back of Leonage at this point in time. 0.15 of a second. Lap 3. Looking back from Heyman, Chadwick, Davis behind him, Jamie Davis in 4th. And this carousel, so many different lines through the short little left-hander onto the pit straight, entering into lap 4, turn 1, about 150 kilometres an hour. Try to get a good exit, because it can be a passing opportunity as you come up the hill here, and Chadwick's right on the back of Heyman now. Heyman was giving pressure to Leonage, but now it's Chadwick. And Heyman's actually gone a little bit defensive into the keyhole hairpin there. Watch for the exit here, critical exit.
With a short track here, Jamie, it'll be interesting to watch the pit strategies. I think the earliest they'll be looking to pit would be around the end of lap 9.
Yep, lap 9 to 20 is the pit window. If they started the race with 55 litres of fuel, so 20 laps is as far as you'll get to go. And we've got a 28 lap race, so you're going to pull short by about 8 laps if you don't go into the pits. And they're going to be looking at putting about 23 litres of fuel in. So if you can fuel conserve, you might be able to shorten that, and that'll shorten your refueling time. That'll shorten your overall pit stop time. But it's not the hardest of pit lane entries, but it's always a critical time of the race. Pit stops.
I think you're looking at around about 42 seconds, I think, Jamie, for a pit stop.
Overall pit stop from entering the pit lane to exiting the pit lane. Yeah, that's about right. That's normally what it is in a supercar on most tracks. Of course, there's some bit shorter pit lanes and a little bit longer pit lanes, but pretty good pit lane this one. So I would expect to see, if people get caught in a little bit of traffic, they're going to want to do the undercut. So Leonage fastest on at the end of lap 4 and onto lap 5. He did a 23.6. Tommy Heyman 23.8. Chadwick 23.9. Jamie Davis 23.8. Harrison 23.8. In fact, they're all about 23.8 after that. So it's very close, and that's why we're not seeing too many passing opportunities. But there's still a lot of pressure because Leonage is back under pressure again from Heyman. So Leonage from Heyman, Chadwick, Davis. Harrison's under a bit of pressure, as he has been most of the race from Court. Nobody can unplug the cork at the moment. Unbottle the cork. Everyone's sort of stuck behind each other.
I can hear a bit of race control in the background there. I'm not quite sure what's going on, Jamie, but...
I can tell you that Kyle Zink has been black flagged and Dean Williams has been black flagged. And they're down in 38th. Kyle Zink is in 38th and Dean Williams in 37th. So... sure if they've already started to serve those black flags. Probably not at this stage, as we're into lap 6. Leonage, Heyman, Chadwick, Davis, Harrison, Court, Gosley, McNamara. McNamara, not too much damage from that turn 2 incident on lap 1. It really would have had the heart going when he went across that sand. He would have been thinking, oh no, how far am I back? Whoa, and you can see already, I think that was Jamie Davis in the background trying to lay the rubber down, exiting turn 2, the keyhole.
He's got a lot of talent to get through McNamara from back there, but wow, look at Heyman. He's really putting the pressure on Laz.
As we saw from the last two championships, it's all about consistency. You really have to avoid those disastrous rounds. Court was leading the champion. He had a comfortable lead at the midsection of last season's championship, and he made a mistake on the grid at, I think it was Alton Park.
Alton Park,
that's really right, where it all come apart. It all fell apart from there. Just look at this pressure. Look at Heyman on the back of Leonage. He's all over him now. I think he can go faster. Definitely looks like Leonage is holding Heyman up a little bit. Probably driving within himself, as he does tend to do, Leonage. He looks after the equipment, looks after the tyres.
Yeah, I think, Jamie, exactly. I think Laz got to keep him behind. I can see him shooting off into the sunset if he gets ahead. Exactly.
Yep. Has to learn. He has to get the elbows out tonight. He's been too generous in the racing recently. Let his positions go too easily, but he's probably looking at the big picture as well. He might give away a couple of positions to look after his championship standing. You've got to have the big picture in mind. Oh, look at this. He's had to go defensive here. He has got the elbows out tonight. JP will be happy to see that.
Yeah, middle of the track.
Making Heyman go around the outside. But Heyman puts his nose on the inside as it crests over the hill. And as it goes, it's really hard to get past here. Switch back and switch back again and switch back again and crests and falls. And Heyman's got the inside here. That's going to be super close. They go through turn 9.
Yeah, you're right, Jamie. With all those switchbacks, very hard to hold the inside.
Almost impossible. But it's good for side-by-side racing as well. If you can get alongside each other, if you get the inside for one corner, back to the opposite direction on the next corner.
Yes.
It's a really difficult place to pass. McNamara in 8th position. A defending champion. Disastrous round at Road America. He had incidents. He had double pit stops. He wasn't a happy man. If you were watching his stream, he was very frustrated. The rig. He couldn't believe it.
Well, the talent in this series, Jamie, I mean, he gets through Trent Gosley and then he's only coming up on Alex Court. So it's not easy to make his way through the field. Plenty of talent in front of him.
Oh, as I look through down, Leonage again going defensively, and Heyman, he's going to try it again. Looks like it's just a repeat of last lap. Heyman's got to think about it here. He's got to really set Leonage up for a passing manoeuvre, which, to be honest, I have no idea how he's going to do it, but he seems like he's going for the drive, and he tried that last lap. It didn't work, and it hasn't worked this lap. But he's got to be careful here, Heyman. Young man in the driver's seat.
I think
most young men are. They can be super aggressive, and now he's opened the door to Chadwick. He's lost a little bit of time by going offline, and Chadwick's right on his tail now. And Chadwick is a super experienced man around here, and he's under pressure. Chadwick has no time, no gap behind him. Back to Davis, and then Harrison Court. Look at this. Look at this line of cars.
The freight train, mate. Absolutely. So I think this will come down to errors and the pit stop, Jamie.
Yeah, definitely. That's the only way, and it's going to be critical. Those guys, they have to have practiced their pit entries, pit exits, got to hit the jacks right on the spot. It can even come down to, as you know, in iRacing, want to hit the jacks, there can be a car in front of your pit box, and it's really hard to pick out your markers. You're going to be right on the fuel. You're going to be pushing it here. You're going to probably want to finish tonight's race with less than half a litre of fuel in the tank and then coast it back home to the pits. Look at that freight train, though. Leonage, Heyman, Chadwick, Davis, Harrison, just like qualifying. We had 36 drivers within 1 second. As I look down my timing tower, it's just split seconds between each driver. In fact, there's only one gap in the field, and that's Warboys back to James Shepherd, and then it's all tenths of seconds back to James Anderson, who's got a little gap on Ashley Davis.
Not to be.
And my teammate making coming back into the championship after a week off. Darren Caldwell back in 19th position. There he is there in the Phase 4 Motorsports. Leonage, though, leads into lap 10. He's done a great job, Leonage. He's withstood the pressure, and there's been a lot of pressure. This race is just flying by. Last week's race was about 90 minutes, I believe. Tonight's is going to only go for about 40 minutes, so this is a super sprint.
Laz is a very consistent driver, mate. I've done quite a few practice laps around a number of tracks with Laz. And one thing he can do is really punch out the laps with very consistent times. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him continue on, and put in a good show without any errors.
It's been an impressive drive so far. At lap 10 of 28, so he's put in the hard work. He hasn't been able to manage to get a gap out. AP mentioned before, if he can get a gap out, he'll be happy, but there's no getting away from anyone around here. And the fact, you've really got to look after the car. You've got to look after the tyres. You want to push harder than what you can actually, you can't, it's not a track that you can really attack. You have to be smooth, you have to be consistent, you have to look after the tyres, not slide it around too much, get the power down consistently. That's exactly what Leonage has done tonight. That, as you said, we're in the pit stop window now. Lap 9, and all hell's going to break loose when people start hitting the pits. It'll be hard to follow. I'll do my best to follow it. Yeah, I can imagine very soon people will be getting itchy trigger fingers. They'll want to pull the trigger, and they'll want to hit the pit lane, get those fresh tyres on. That'll give them another half a second at least faster per lap. And that can make all the difference. If you get that clean out lap, of course, you don't want to come out in traffic. In fact, I think we've seen some pit stops now. I think we've seen Shepherd, Hanson, Tidwell.
Yeah, they're starting to pull in, mate.
Yep. Already some of the early pit stoppers. No one in the top three as yet.
No, it'll be interesting to see who does the opposite. There's always going to be some drivers out there that will have a look at what's happening around them and then do the opposite.
Michael Dumbrell here in 18th position. He's got a little bit of damage on the left-hand side of his car. But the guys have been really clean tonight. This has been impressive driving. They've been and here we go. Hayden Harrison not around the outside of Alex Court and then back on the inside of Alex Court. No, Court holds it. Court's in 5th. Lost a little bit of time there. There's a gap. Oh, okay, so Harrison's dropped his position. Harrison's dropped the position to Court. Court's moved up to 5th. That's why there's a gap in the train, in the freight train. A couple of carriages have come loose. Let's see if Court can make up that up that gap back on Jamie Davis. We've got Leonage, Heyman, Chadwick, Davis. Court up to 5th. And now we've got more pit stops. We see...
Gosley's in.
Yep. We've got Leonage, Heyman, Chadwick, Davis, Court, Gosley, McNamara, Harrison, Warboys, Brewer. Our top 10 at this point in time. Critical pit stops are coming. McNamara in 7th place. Back to the leader, Leonage. Had probably the best amount of fresh air behind him that he's seen all race. Really looked after these tyres, I believe. Leonage. Great form. He's really got a feel for these setups in the nationwide tracking systems. The 8 Evolution Championship. All got the same setup, fixed setup between all drivers, so it's all drivers' ability here. It's not engineering.
This is probably the biggest gap he's had since the start of the race, actually, Jamie.
Definitely. Oh, but you can see there, he's working the tyres.
Certainly is.
Knows these ones are about to be thrown away, so he's going to use them up for what they've got. Out to 0.65 of a second. 0.65 of a second, but he's staying out another lap. That's the pit lane entry just there on the left-hand side. Chadwick's in. Chadwick from 3rd position. Chadwick has definitely been up and down, and well, no, I wouldn't say up and down. He's been mostly down in his pit stops in the series so far. He'll be hoping for us, and McNamara's followed him in as well. McNamara, Anderson, Caldwell, Dumbrell, Harrison, Matt Davis, they're all in the pits. They've all hit pit lane. It's on now. Leonage will know that this has got to be a super clean lap. He does not want to put a wheel wrong. He'll definitely hit the pit lane. Both Leonage and Heyman will hit the pit lane at the end of this lap. That can almost be guaranteed. As we are on lap 13.
Thought I'd jump in and join you here, Laz is definitely going to have to cover off Chadwick and McNamara this lap.
Got to be a super clean lap, super clean entry into the pit lane. Eamon knows that as well. Jamie Davis stayed out, Court stayed out, Gosling, Warboys, Brewer, Simons, Anderson's up to 9th, Caldwell's in 10th. Coming to the end of the lap here. Couple of corners to go.
No, Leonard decides to stay out.
Stays,
that could be
out.
His undoing.
Eamon goes, hits the pit. Davis intends to do, stays out. Court stays out. You know, these guys do a lot of practice. Court stayed out. That might be the strategy. That might be the strategy they're going to play with. They're going to run this first stint long. Leonard has stayed out. Davis has stayed out. Court, Gosling, Brewer, Simons. Eamon's in the pit lane. Warboys is in the pit lane. Dumbrell's in the pit lane. We should have a look to see where Heyman comes out. That will be the interesting thing to see if Heyman has managed to cut off the early stoppers in Chadwick. And there it is there. Chadwick's out in front. Chadwick's past Heyman. And that's the, it's the undercut. That's the power of the undercut, the fresh tyres.
Yeah.
Chadwick's done a great job. He's gone in, he's come out, he's done that hot lap on those fresh tyres. He managed to avoid any traffic, and he's jumped it. So that was Heyman, who was in second position when he hit the pit lane. Chadwick has passed him. Now Leonard is the man that stayed out. We know that...
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see if it's cost him positions.
Well, we know it's cost Heyman a position.
Whether it's
the guys that have stopped, we've got Chadwick, Heyman, McNamara, Warboys. Leonard has stayed out 2 laps longer than he maybe should have, and he stays out again. So this is a different strategy. We've definitely got a different strategy here between NTS drivers in Leonard and Court. They have stayed out. Gosling's hit the pit lane. Jamie Davis has hit the pit lane. Riley Simons has stayed out. He's moved up to 3rd. So the JPS Shed crew have stayed out longer than the rest. It will give them an advantage at the end of the race. They're going to have fresher tyres, but they will be losing time at this point in the race.
Well, they'll be looking for a safety car now, I think.
Doesn't look like a safety car is going to happen, does it, Craig? It just the way the race has panned out. I can't see that sort of.
Can't see it happening, Jamie. No, the driving's really high quality, and I think we won't see one tonight. So if they were hanging their hat on going long and looking for a safety car and a cheap pit stop, they might be barking up the wrong tree. So it's going to be really interesting to see just how many positions this is going to cost them. I don't think there's any doubt that they'll be going backwards.
Well, the question is, so Leonard did a 24.4 on that last lap, Court a 24.2 or 24.3. Chadwick did a 24.2, so they haven't lost too much time on that last lap. But I'm just looking at my scoring. My timing tower is going absolutely crazy. Here he is. He's hit the pit lane. Number 79, Leonard, at the end of lap 15, has hit the pit lane. This is critical. Court's come in as well. His teammate, the 2 teammates have followed each other in. They're doing that ever excruciating speed of 70 kilometres an hour as they go crawl down the pit lane. Leonard has to get this. He has to hit it. This has to be absolutely perfect, and I still don't think he's going to manage to hold off Chadwick. Is Chadwick exiting the last corner? Chadwick with Heyman behind him. Leonard, Court, exit the pit lane. Leonard, he's right alongside. He hasn't lost too much time. He's going to have fresher tyres, but now he's going to be the man. He has to be the aggressor. He's going to be on the tail here. Chadwick leads. Well, Dumbrell leads from Davis, Jason Davis. Chadwick is the first of the pit stoppers. They'll be leading on lap 16. Chadwick leads from Heyman, Leonard, McNamara, Court's in 7th.
And McNamara's got the jump on Court as well.
McNamara's made up time, big time. McNamara was super fast on that last lap. Fastest lap on that last lap, though, was Blake Warboys in 9th position, which is 7th after the Dumbrell and Davis will pit. So Michael Dumbrell leads at this point in time from Jason Davis. And Chadwick, first of the pit stoppers to be out there. Heyman, Leonard, McNamara, Court, Gosley, Warboys, Davis, Harrison, Sloggett, Ana Costello, Jacob Brewer, Ray Lewis, Riley Simons, Darren Caldwell.
The
17th position.
9-5 Sim boys, Jamie, have really played the joker on this one.
They're pretty savvy when it comes to race strategy. They do a lot of work. They have a lot of team expertise. They probably chat about these sorts of strategies throughout the week, and they don't normally miss the mark.
No, there's a lot of experience between these guys, and they race well together. So we're just seeing the benefits of what's obviously a lot of practice, a lot of strategy.
Chadwick Heyman in the keyhole. Heyman has a look around the outside. Little look, you can take some different lines through there. Hard place to defend as well, though. Really want to take that inside line, not give him a chance. Oh, look at this, Heyman. Heyman up the inside of Chadwick. Side by side, down the hill, into the third gear. Oh, Chadwick squeezes him, gives him just enough room. Heyman had to use a little bit of curb now. He's around the outside as they crest over the hill. Hard to pull off, but Heyman's doing his best job. He's got the inside line for the next right-hander. Chadwick's going to have it again, back on the left-hander. Heyman, no, he couldn't do it. Look at the body language of Heyman's Mustang. He's all over the place, but he couldn't do it. He's driven a pretty good race here. He's shown some great moves, but that's going to cost him probably. That's going to cost him some tyre life. And you can see Leonage now, he's got to be, I don't know, he's got to be smooth, but he's got to stay with these guys. He's going to have the fresher tyres. Needs to use them though. We're on lap 17, 11 laps to go.
You just can't let them break away, Jamie. If you can stay with them and, like I said, conserve the tyres, you can have a crack late in the race. Still a lot of talent to push through, but we'll see how we go.
Line. It's a fine line Leonage has to tread. These two in front, though, are pushing hard. Chadwick and Heyman, if they keep battling away, Leonage isn't going to have to work too hard to stay with them. If he can conserve those tyres, he's going to have 3 lap better tyres at the end of this race. They're going to be super hard to pull off a manoeuvre, but we'll see what he's worth. We'll see if Leonage can do it, because he's been super fast in qualifying. He obviously knows the track inside out. Heyman again. Heyman's super close on Chadwick. Right on his tail, Heyman. Chadwick, Heyman, Leonage, McNamara, Gosling, Court, Warboys, Davis, Harrison, Boggart in 10th.
Well, we saw Chadwick under a fair bit of pressure in round 1, and he folded. I can't see that happening again, but who's to say?
He does drive the car hard. He doesn't leave too much on the table. Always on the edge, Chadwick. It's great to watch. Has he made a mistake at turn 5 on the exit of the turn? Oh, look at that. We've got Lindsay Hobbs. In front of Hobbs, we've got Dawson, Alan Dawson. He was all out of shape. 2 teammates there. Trackstar, Racewear. Battling away for positions 25 and 26, 24, 25, 26. Oh, look out. And Veacock as well. He's been a super fast man lately. He's all over the back. There's battles everywhere, in fact. Veacock in 18th position. And
unusual to see him down there.
yeah, he started off, he was a lot higher. No, it was, well, like I said, 36. Oh, look at this. Alan Dawson and Mitch Campbell side by side through turn 1. Look further down the field. Battles up and down the field. Alan Dawson. He's a new name. I haven't seen him on the grid too much. Craig,
No,
you raced against him at all last season?
No, I'm familiar with him, but I'll be keen to watch, see how he goes along with a few of the other new boys. And obviously the star of the new guys, Tommy Heyman. Really impressed with this young guy. Ben, he won't see him having beers, but there might be a few Red Bulls.
And James Shepherd, he was impressive last week as well. He was another new name in the field. Just a little bit of understeer there. As these cars with this setup has a tendency to do. They're very easy to drive off the tail. They're not going to lose it in a big tank slapper or anything like that with this setup, but it does tend to want understeer. Got a lot of push in it, but it makes it for a nice race car, nice comfortable race car to drive. Shepherd in 14th position. He's holding off Anderson behind him. Anderson, who was the co-championship leader, with Lasseth Leonard as we went into tonight's race. Of course, Lasseth Leonard's got pole position tonight, so he will take another 10 points. So he's currently on 160, but they were leading as a tonight's race. Shepherd Anderson.
James was a little up and down last season. He's got definitely got the pace. He won't be happy winning last week and then sitting 15th at the moment.
I think it's going to be a season like that, Craig. It's so close between all the competition. Get the qualifying lap in, and it does tend to depend on how you like the setup. A lot of drivers, they can't drive around a setup. They like a car to handle a certain way, and here we go. Leonard, he's definitely liking the setup. He's right on the back of Chadwick now. This top 4 battle has really closed up, as we were previously looking at. We were looking at the battle between Shepherd, Anderson, Davis, Dumbrell, but now we're back at the lead. Heyman's got past Chadwick. That's what's happened.
And
Heyman's our leader. Heyman has, he's got a 0.3 second, half a second. Half a second lead on Chadwick. This is the manoeuvre. While we're looking at that other battle. He's done it. Chadwick,
we talked a little earlier
too much.
Yeah, we talked a little bit earlier about the possibility of him taking the lead and then maybe scooting away. So, half a second already.
We're going to find out now, Craig. This is going to be the time. It's a whole different way of driving, though, once you're in front. When you're behind, you can sort of follow the lines and just take a little bit here and pinch a little bit there. Now he's the man to set the pace.
Absolutely.
Let's see if he can do it. Let's see if he can handle this pressure. Go on board with Cameron Veacock as we head into the keyhole, turn 2, exit in second gear, down the hill, moving up to 200k. Sorry, Craig?
We've got the driver cam now, Jamie. Great new feature JP's introduced, so we can see Cameron driving down the bottom of the screen there.
Right behind Riley Simons. Veacock's in 31st. Top 20 positions tonight, so not a great night for Cameron Veacock so far. Trailing Riley Simons. Second gear here, a little bit of wheel spin up over this crest. Very tricky part of the track here, trying to set the corner up. You can see both of them sliding a little bit. Now you want to put the power down as you get over the crest. Build up, go close on this right-hand side to the barrier, then blind apex. Keep as much curb as you can and set up for this last corner that just goes on and on and on in the carousel as you exit onto the last corner here, onto pit lane. It's straight.
Oh. Someone will.
Heyman's off. Chadwick's back in the lead. Heyman. Pressure got to him.
Oh, big lock up there from Chadwick as well. I think that might have put Simon off a little bit and he nearly followed him.
Oh, Heyman finds himself on the side of the track. He's now down he's dropping positions. He's 25th, on down to 25th. He's damaged the car. Catch the replay. Did you catch the replay, Craig? Did you see what happened?
I didn't see, yeah, look, he just overcooked it. He's in the wall.
Chadwick only just avoided him, but Leonard is right in the back of Chadwick now as well. This is the opportunity, Leonard, lap 23, so we've still got 5.5 laps to go. Leonard now, he is the man to watch, and they're coming up the traffic as well. That's going to shake things up. Down the back straight, the 23rd time. Is Chadwick's got the lights flashing. Doesn't want to take any chances with these back markers. Chadwick, Leonard, McNamara, Gosling. And we were talking Heyman up. The old commentator's curse.
We did put the mocker on a young bloke, didn't we?
Oh, unfortunately. Feel a little bit guilty now.
Well, like you said, mate, leading a race and following are two very, very, very different things. And
that's it. You can follow the cues. When you're following the cues from the guy in front, all you have to do is follow and just pinch a little bit of time here, pinch a little bit of time there, watch the brake lights, grab a little bit more apex, grab a little bit more curb here, put the power on at exactly the same time or a fraction earlier. But when you're out in front, you have to make all the decisions yourself. You have to drive your race. And when you have that pressure from behind, you can have a tendency sometimes to push, overextend yourself, and that's when the mistakes kick in.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there, Jamie, and we saw that exact scenario play out for the young fella. Really looking forward to watching him race for the rest of the season. He's going to learn from that.
He will definitely learn from that, and we know you can always teach a guy how to slow down. The hard part is to teach a guy to be fast.
Yeah, and he's definitely got the pace. He's back down in 32nd now.
32nd. And that's going to hurt his championship. That's the biggest thing. That's the key. He's going to win races. He's going to win races this season. That's probably made his championship a very hard task now.
Yeah, as far as getting right at the pointy end of the championship, that's like a DNF, mate.
Chadwick, Leonage, McNamara, Gosling, Warboys, Harrison, Jamie Davis, Kai Sloggett, Alex Court in 9th. Court might have lost a couple of positions while we've been up and down the field as well. Rainer Costello, a new name, he's in 10th. Alex Court, he finished, what did he finish last week? In 4th position, so he's just been consistent. This time of the last season, he was dominating this championship. It's not so easy this year. There's a lot of talent in this, especially in Split 1. A lot of fast guys.
A lot of big improvers too, Jamie. I think he was up to 5th place there before the pit stops, and I think they really knocked him. That pit stop really knocked him around.
Yep. A guy who has moved up, my teammate Darren Caldwell, he has moved up 7 positions. He's in 12th. Mara's pressuring Leonage. Leonage drops half a second off the back of Chadwick. We're on lap 25, so counting down the laps now. Chadwick's done a good job. I didn't think this track was going to suit his driving style. I thought the way he drives the car, super aggressive, that it might burn the tyres up, but he's such a flexible driver. He's a talented man.
Certainly is, mate. I feel like I'm watching a couple of Mercedes and a Red Bull here in the Formula One.
It is a bit like that. You do see these same names come up the front consistently. Chadwick's always got the pace, week in, week out. McNamara's got the pace and the consistency. Leonage, he's qualified brilliantly the last couple of weeks. Hasn't managed to pull off a win. He's going to be desperate for a win in this season.
He would have had, I think Leonage would have had, 5 podiums in the last 6 races, if you take into consideration? Yeah, the end of last season.
Yep. Just got to really finish one off. I'm just looking, we've seen Riley Simons has been black flagged, and Luke Holland has been black flagged recently as well. So there's a couple of fast guys, and I've just seen Alex Court's been black flagged. But we were just talking about that consistency.
Apparently he's had some contact with Trent Gosling.
Right, okay. So he might have tried to make a move because Gosling's in 4th position. Alex Court was in 5th, now he's dropped back to 9th. So he's come off the worst in that little encounter, and he's got a drive-through penalty by the sounds of it. Keep an eye out for that because Chadwick is back under pressure. His Type 3's actually closed right up again. Right, they're back on it. Leonage is having his last gasp at it, and Chadwick, he might have burnt these tyres up now. Up 26.
We're really going to see the result of this late pit stop and see if he can take advantage of these tyres.
Leonage has got the freshest tyres of these 3, and he used them. Is he going to get the opportunity? He needs to push. He needs to really assert himself on the back of Chadwick here. And this is where, in these long, constant radius corners like the carousel here, got to put the power down smoothly, get the drive, get the grip as they come onto pit straight. Turn 1's another one where he's really going to use the tyres up. And you should see him here. He should get a better exit if he's done it properly. Probably, I would say Chadwick's cover. Oh, he's going to have a look. Chadwick's sort of half defending it.
McNamara.
Into turn 2. McNamara is going to be there to take any scraps as well. Doesn't want to do that. Oh, McNamara is probably going to get a good drive out of the keyhole here. Down the back straight. Leonage is going to be under pressure from behind. McNamara Nash doesn't want to give this up. That's the, oh, look at, slams on the brakes. The nose of the car dives to turn 3. Just after the kink, turn 4. Chadwick, Leonage, McNamara. It's on. There's a lap and a half to go. Chadwick's not making any mistakes. Leonage is getting desperate. Look at the curb. He's taken a lot of curb there. Over this crest. Get the power down. You just got to wait. Put the power down. Builds up to 200 kilometres an hour.
Are you looking for the win, Jamie? Or are you taking the points?
If I'm Leonage, I'm on this sort of track. I'm gonna push Chadwick for everything I've got.
Yep.
Of course he does. He will be leading the championship if he can finish in this position. I just think that this is one of the best situations Leonage has been in, and since he's been in the series to win a race. He's not going to want to let that slip. He's right on his tail here. Chadwick's under big pressure. Leonage has got to get the power down here. He just doesn't get the drive out of the keyhole. McNamara is consistently getting better drive than Leonage. Leonage is taking a different line, not getting the exit that he needs. And this is the best braking. This is the best braking point, passing point on the track, and he hasn't been able to do it. Now Leonage has to set Chadwick up here. It's got to be smooth. He's got to get this apex right as he crests over this. Down, put the power on smoothly. Takes a little bit of a tighter entry than he would have liked there. Now needs to put the power on smoothly over this crest.
That might be a different story. Yeah. I think if McNamara wasn't so close to him, it might be a different story. I think he might have one eye on the rear view mirror.
It looks like Chadwick's going to hold it here. Only got two corners to go, Chadwick. Leonage has got to. I think McNamara is too smart to do anything crazy here. It's going to be Chadwick. Simon Chadwick is going to win after 28 laps. He takes out the Mid Ohio 100. The TJM Parramatta Mid Ohio 100. Round 2 of the Nationwide Tracking Systems V8 Evolution Championship goes to Simon Chadwick. Lasseth Leonage, Sean McNamara, Trent Gosley in 4th, Blake Warboys, Hayden Harrison, Kai Sloggett, Raina Costello, Amy Davis, Jacob Brewer in 10th. Great race, great drive. Simon Chadwick, a pit strategy.
Yeah, Chadwick and McNamara pulled off great pit strategy there, Jamie, and it showed in the results.
Track position was critical, and Leonage stayed out 3 laps too long on those tyres. Lost the lead. Had to settle back into 3rd position after that pit stop, and that cost him. He had the pace at the end. But there was nowhere to pass. Chadwick did not make a mistake.
I think we only saw probably less than a handful of overtakes in the whole race amongst the top 10.
Not many overtakes. Good racing, but not many overtakes.
Yeah,
Tommy Heyman at one point, he looked like he was the man to beat, but he ended up in 41st place, down 37 positions from his starting spot.
Yes, yeah, Jamie, that's a DNF as far as he's concerned for the championship, but boy, I tell you, he is going to be right at the pointy end for a lot of races this season.
Definitely one to watch. Le Mans next week. Le Mans. Chadwick. Bring him home on the cool-down lap. Another good result. Another great result for 9.5 Sim Sports. Chadwick and McNamara. McNamara recovers from 16th position in the championship last round at Road America. Chadwick, who was in form, he had a chance of winning last week's round as well. So he's definitely one to watch out for the championship now. And here's the burnout. It'll tap on the concrete. No damage though. The mechanics will be happy to see that. Now he's in the grass.
All over the shop.
Get back the other way and a little bit more. Yeah, why not? A little bit more from the 777. Lights them up.
Good stuff. And Alex Court ends up down in 14th, Jamie.
Very interesting. Very interesting. How is that going to affect these championships? You've always got the big picture of the championship in the background. We always want to finish a top 3, and we'll have the top 3. We'll have a chat with the top 3 in a minute. Got to know these guys pretty well now, McNamara, Leonage and Chadwick. But I'll just run through all the positions. Our major winners and losers in that race. So Chadwick, of course, Simon Chadwick, Leonage, McNamara, Gosling, Warboys, Harrison, Boggett, Costello, Jamie Davis in 9th, Jacob Brewer, Darren Caldwell, James Shepherd, Michael Dumbrell, Alex Court, 14th. I've got Alex Court in 14th.
That's going to hurt.
James Anderson, our last round winner, in 15th position. Jason Davis in 16th, Matt Davis in 17th, Sean Pidwell 18th, Philip Peugeot, Alan Dawson, Lindsay Hobbs, Jonathan Bean, Mitch Campbell, Chris Barnes, Luke Fraser, Alex Malone, Craig Casper, Clay Lewis, Dean Powell, Adam Neal in 30th, Blake Urquhart, Latham, Marty Hanson, 17 positions down. I don't know what happened to Marty Hanson. He was on the podium last week, down in 33rd position this week. That's what we're saying, Craig. This championship.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how all the points pan out when JP releases the running results. Because guys who were out of it last week are back in it this week, and guys who were in it last week are out this week.
Going to be a lot coming down to consistency. We've got behind Marty Hanson, we've got Dean Williams, Riley Simons in 35th. He was down 21 positions, Riley Simons, so he had a few incidents in that race. Oh, he had a black flag, I believe. Wayne Taylor, Isles Inc., Luke Holland, down 16 positions. He had a black flag as well. Robert Crisdale, Wade Michael, Tommy Heyman, who I believe didn't finish the race. He was down 30 positions in 41st. Cameron Veacock, another poor finish to his race, down 31 positions in 42. Ryan Cooper in 43rd. Ashley Davis in 44th. So big field, big race, lots of action. Time to have a chat to our top 3. And our 3rd place position, Sean McNamara. Sean, how was that race?
Apart from turn 2, it was a great race.
What happened in turn 2? Let's go through that.
To be honest, I've done a bunch of practice starts, and I've jumped on the brake at the same point, and I don't know if I just had my bias a little bit too far to the back. It just didn't pull up, but I saw Laz get on the brakes, and if you can see the guy beside you get on the brakes and you're still a second later, you know you're going too deep. So I don't know what. Couple of mistakes in a couple of rounds. I just need to iron it out.
Well, not as bad as round 1. You bounced back pretty well. Round 1 was an absolute disaster by the sounds of it.
Yeah, it was. Round 1 wasn't ideal, but I mean, I think I was 34th with 3 laps to go and ended up 15th there. So,
recovery.
Yeah, but we're just going to iron them out. That's just silly mistakes that you don't need to make. But that was a bloody brilliant race, though. I mean, coming back from 8th to there and the 3 of us with a blanket over us, that was intense and great fun.
Yeah, you must have had your heart in your mouth as you went into turn 2. You bounced back well, and how hard was that race? How hard were you working in the car?
It's sweat dripping off me. I'm quite comfortable at this track. I like the technical ones. So, yeah, I underfueled a little bit, so I fuel saved for the first probably 3 laps after the pit stop and then got back into it. But I think when you're that close, it's intense. You're constantly gripping everything, and you're at the edge. I think you would have seen on the broadcast. You're locking up your slideways out of corners trying to get drafts, and it's pretty intense.
Sean, were you surprised to see Laz go long after you pitted early?
I was, because and again, I don't know, the practice races we do, but certainly there was a significant undercut with the tyres if you did jump in a bit early, and I was actually going to go a lap earlier than that, but I said to Chad, we'll stay out one more and then we'll jump in. But yeah, I was surprised that a few of the boys went 2 or 3 laps longer, because that made the difference. Certainly for Chad to jump into 1 and jump from 8th to 4th. So yeah, definitely a little bit surprised I didn't jump in earlier.
Great racing. really great to watch. And you're exactly right. It was an absolute freight train at the start and at the end. It was pretty exciting stuff from where we were sitting.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, top 8, 9, 10 cars were really separated by 3 or 4 seconds for half of that race. It's just once the pit stops happened, it scattered a bit. But Trent was coming hard, and I think he got a tag, unfortunately, so I felt sorry for him. But no, it was a really good night, and well done to Chad. I think that's his first win, and it's good to have a 9.5 Sim Sport car up front.
Definitely. We'll let you have this opportunity to give a shout out to your sponsors, Sean.
Yeah, certainly. We've got new sponsors on board this season. So SRT Australia over in Perth, Racecraft Simulations also in Perth, and we've got the Old Faithfuls Racing Ears Custom Ears Protection, and of course thanks to JP and NTS and all the series sponsors and you guys, and well done to the podium as well. Thank you.
Car's looking great. You got some serious speed and been good watching your race tonight. We'll,
Indeed. Thank you guys.
Yep. Okay, Sean. Thanks
Cheers. Bye.
for that. So,
Hey, guys, Simon, how you going?
I think we got Lasseth. We got Lasseth.
Yeah, mate. You got me.
Mission 2.
Hi there.
Well done, Lasseth. Good race tonight.
Yeah, thanks.
Now,
Jamie.
that pit stop. You think maybe you stayed out a couple of laps too long?
I did, but I wasn't sure where I was going to enter the track, so I didn't want to enter in traffic. And my crew chief decided to take a day off, so I was going a little bit blind, but I'm happy with where I finished.
Yeah,
Could have been
definitely.
better.
Second place. You can't complain about that. But yeah, it's critical to have that spotter to tell you where you're going to come out in traffic. Because Chadwick, obviously, he got a pretty good run where he landed. He come out on a clear track and managed to put down 3 fast laps. And we thought you still might have a good chance here at the end because you're going to have the fresher tyres. It's just so hard to pass on this track.
That's why I wanted to collie up high as possible, because I knew this is going to be a tough track to pass. But if I didn't see an opening with Chadwick, I wasn't going to dive inside because I got to think about the long game and championship points and things like that. But yeah.
Definitely. You're racking up the points big time. Good result last week. Top 3 this week. 2 pole positions. You're in form. What do you put that form down to?
To be honest, less practice this time around. I think I've sort of gotten. Yeah, truly it is. I mean, this track I put in a little bit more work than previous one because this was completely new to me. So I definitely put in some work, but previous week I didn't. So, but I think now we're into season 3, so we're all getting better at it.
And you're enjoying the setups?
Oh,
Really?
loving the setups. It's really hitting the mark now compared to season 2, so I'm loving it. Yeah.
And you will be leading the championship as we go into round 3 at Le Mans
10
by
points.
20 points.
What, 20? Beautiful.
Yeah, so, yep. I know how desperate you will be to take out a win in one of these rounds, but yeah, we were saying tonight, I think best possible chance to get a win. He's going to go for it. He's going to say to hell with the points. We'll take any risk out there. But no, you're a disciplined man. You got a wise head on those shoulders, and you settled for the second. And well, Chadwick, I don't think you made any mistakes. So you really, that was the only thing you could do. But that was still another great drive. Do you want to shout out to any sponsors, Laz?
Oh yeah, definitely. First of all, NTS obviously, and Abruzzi, Goody Auto Care, Drive Sim, Track Racer, VR Cover, and Cars for Hope, and obviously JP, who's doing a lot of hard work in the background trying to get this series to another level. I think he has. I don't know how high he can go, but we'll see. And obviously my family as well. They've been supporting me a lot, so thank you.
Well done. Keep up the form, Laz. We'll see you at Le Mans.
Thanks,
See if
mate.
you can get
Well done, Les.
3 back-to-back pole positions. That'll be an effort.
Let's see. I've never driven Le Mans before, so let's see what happens.
I've never
Might do a
driven a
few extra
supercar
laps,
either.
All right, mate. Thank you.
Good on you, Laz.
Gotcha.
Oh, Simon Chadwick.
Hey
winner
lads,
of the TJM Mid Ohio 100. Well done, Chad.
thank you guys. Really
Well done,
appreciate it.
Simon.
I finally
job.
got the number 1. It's it's been I guess 3 seasons coming.
Hey, Simon, you didn't have visions of Turn 5 Road America from last week, did you?
Mate, trust me, I honestly felt in control 95% of the race. I wasn't overdriving it. I wasn't trying to do my show off slides. The first 15 laps, I was just following Heyman and Laz first 11 laps, just following them, and my fuel was going gangbusters, awesome, and then finally got my pit stops down pat, which is not my forte at times, and just everything just came together, but I came to about 10 laps to go and found out I was going to run out of fuel, so I was fuel saving a fair bit. I don't know if you guys noticed that with the lap times.
No, it wasn't noticeable at all, Simon. So you've done a pretty good job there of doing a little bit of lifting and coasting and getting away with it.
Yeah, look, I knew Laz was going to play the long game for sure, but he did not let me go one bit. He was up my rear end the whole time, so it was awesome fun.
Excellent drive, Simon. Any sponsors you'd like to shout out to?
Yeah, look, absolutely. The SRT Australia, Racecraft Simulations, Racing Ear Custom Ear Protection. Those guys always help us out. They give us a bit of funds, which is awesome, and helps us get on the track every week. And also thank you to you guys and JP, always making the season, every week is getting better and better. It's fantastic to see.
Our pleasure. When you guys are putting on a show like tonight, it makes life very easy in the broadcast. And congratulations again, Simon. When I saw you on 6th position in the grid, I thought this might just be a points gatherer. I think this track would suit your style. I thought you might have been a little bit too aggressive around here.
Yeah.
You've made your way up from 6th to take a win on a track that we said passing was going to be near impossible, but you've pulled it off.
Yeah, look, I did come into this track thinking it's not my strong suit, and I've got endurance coming up this Friday, so it's going to be really interesting. But my laptop, my quali just wasn't there, and every week, every night or second night, I was doing practice, and I was always 2/10 off Sean. So quali does come down to it, but I guess at the end of the day, the race is what counts, right?
Yeah, certainly.
All right. We'll see you at Le Mans next week. And
sounds good.
Have a good night, Simon.
Thanks.
And enjoy that win.
Will do. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Good luck, Simon.
Thanks, guys.
What a race! That was pretty exciting. We didn't have high hopes going into that race. We were building it up, thinking it might not reduce, but it was a pretty good race in the end there, Craig.
Oh, absolutely, mate. There was plenty going on, and as we thought, errors and strategy came right into it. But I'll tell you what, I know Ayrton Senna would be proud of you, buddy. He would have sent it just like you, but Laz went for the points.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Laz is a lot wiser than me.
It's probably why we're getting all the DNFs, mate, and the strength of fields.
Yeah, that's true. And the officials, I've had a bad run lately, so yep, we'll move on from that, and exactly. So we've got Leonard's going to be leading into the round 3 at Le Mans. It's only going to be about a 12-lap race, so. It's probably going to be about a 4-minute lap, so it'll be an interesting race. And I've never done any laps there in the supercar, so it's going to probably be very new to most of these drivers. So something definitely to look forward to Tuesday next week.
Absolutely, mate. And fuel strategy might come into play there. There'll be a fair bit of drafting going on down those long straights. So just be interesting to see how that pans out. But I haven't been in a supercar there. I've completed the 24-hour in the Porsche, but the supercar will be a whole different beast.
One more mention from our very friendly sponsors at Nationwide Tracking Systems, and we also have Goodyear Auto Care Warana, located on the Sunshine Coast. One-stop shop for tyres, brakes and suspension, logbook servicing and all mechanical repairs. Also, Abruzzi Racewear. Check out Abruzzi Racewear at www.abruzzi.com.au. Track Racer at, of course, trackracer.com.au. Custom Track Art. Check them out on Facebook. We've got Race Management Services, Holden and Race Engineering, and they're also on Facebook. We have Melbourne Hydrographics Depot. Check them out. I'm sure they're all over Facebook. I'm sure they've probably got some YouTube, probably showing some processes. Yeah. And we'll see you next week for the Track Racer Le Mans 160. And a shout out to Ben Morris as well. Couldn't join us tonight. Hope that painting's going well. And thanks very much, Craig Newell, tonight for stepping in, helping me out.
Come back, Ben. I need to go back to being the third wheel next week, mate.
Ah, you loved it. You loved the limelight tonight, Craig. You've done a great job. And thanks again to JP on the cameras. Another brilliant job.
Yeah,
Setting
thanks,
up the
JP.
grid, especially with all those. Got to have a word to these drivers. They got to stop doing penalties in the qualifying. It's doing JP's head in. if you wonder why the broadcast is late every night, it's because these bloody drivers have too many penalties in qualifying.
I'll go off and have a chat with JP now, mate. I think with the JP team, and I think we might hear a bit more about that. Might be a bit of an ear bashing going on back there.
Well, if anyone gets a penalty at Le Mans, there's something going on because they shouldn't be able to get in the way at Le Mans. You got a 6K track
there, mate. You get lost.
Yeah, exactly. You get lost in the forest.
Then come back. Thanks for having me, Jamie, and thank you, yours. And I look forward to being back next week. It's great. Cheers.
Enjoyed it. Enjoyed round 2 of the Nationwide Tracking Systems V8 Evolution Championship. See you next week at Le Mans.